Hello and welcome back, and we're continuing chapter 8 of Mr. Love Coin Choice. This is the third part. There's been a really big plot twist, and we find out that Kiro is actually a very popular hacker, but no one knows that, of course. So let's see what's going on with him or what his story is. Right, chapter 8, part 13. Kiro shook his head.
I don't know where we are either, but someone impersonated me to try to draw me out, and then planted a bomb to find out who the real key is. I think this whole thing is an attempt to get at me.
Having accepted the fact that Kiro is key, I was finally realizing what he meant about clearing his name. So you just said Key wasn't behind this massive cyber attack?
Of course not. I wouldn't do something so tasteless. Besides, my sig ain't that ugly. But how did you get here anyway? And how did you choose that getup?
The summer sent me Big Daddy 123's invite by mistake. I seized the opportunity and here I am. Kiro's brow fired as he pondered over something.
What are the chances they mistakenly sent a hacker invite and us ending up in the same place? Unless...
Someone sent us that invite on purpose knowing that we were close to Kiro. Unless what?
Unless someone sent it to you on purpose to draw you there.
Why would they do that?
Not sure yet.
There were more questions than answers, making me even more confused. Staring into the darkness, a wave of guilt came over me. Sorry for me tripping, otherwise we'd be outside right now. Not only did you not clear your name, but you're trapped here because of me. He locked eyes with me and shook his head, a look of regret in his eyes.
It's not your fault. I got you into this. But don't worry, I won't let them succeed.
Well, don't you worry either, because I'll help you clear your name once we get out.
All right, I'll remember that, Miss Fancy Producer. First things first, though, we gotta get out of here.
Yes, we do. He patted my hair, his blue eyes gently reassuring me in the dark. Okay. He scanned the surroundings, took out his miniature computer and began to work his magic. The screen showed a rapidly rotating blueprint.
We're in a secret room.
Secret room? There's actually a secret room underneath this place?
I didn't count on that either. And from the looks of it, the room was built quite a while back.
What do we do now?
Come on, did you forget you're talking to Key? I'll get you out. Check this out. I made a 3D model of the room. This is where we are now. According to this, there are 3 connected secret rooms, the last one leading to the venue's back door.
Once Kiro starts working, rather, I should say once he starts hacking, he becomes almost a different person. This Kiro in front of me, who shone like the sun, put my mind to ease. Honestly, I felt safe ever since seeing how collected he was dealing with the bomb. I trust him. There's nothing for me to fear as long as he's around. But I still don't get it.
Right now, all we gotta do is find a way to the upper level, then go through 2 more secret rooms, and that's it.
He pointed all around the diagram. I looked at the 3D map and all I could do was nod.
All right, let's go find the exit to this room.
As soon as he uttered those words, his flashlight went out. What now?
Ah, no. This was a solar-powered flashlight that hooks up to my cell phone. The battery ran out.
Use my phone. I took up my phone to find I couldn't get it to turn on. That's weird. You still had half power last time I checked.
No problem. I'll fix this in a snap. Watch me.
A strange shuffling noise came up from somewhere and made me sidle up to Kiro.
You wanted to learn about Key, right? Well, he's right in front of you.
He said that out of the blue. The shuffling I heard died down a bit, and I forced myself to calm down. You'll let me interview you?
This is your golden opportunity. Hello, Miss Chips. I'm Key.
Such a seductive voice. He lowered his voice and seemed to switch into another persona. Nice to meet you. I'm Jin. As a hacker, what work of yours are you most proud of? He mulled the question over before answering in that low voice.
I feel my signature is particularly a work of art.
Have they got a different voice actor to do care? The low voice suddenly got a few octaves higher, and his tone couldn't help revealing an underlying pride and pomposity. Don't all hackers just manipulate code? Who brags about having a nice signature?
Don't knock it. I designed my own special font, even copyrighted it.
He said it in a way that hinted great disdain for his imposter's inferior signature. Kiro can be so straight up cute.
Are you feeling more relaxed now?
I paused, suddenly realizing I wasn't nearly as anxious as before.
Actually, when you stop thinking about it, it's not so scary. Chatting is the best way to get rid of tension. Remember that one time when I was a nervous wreck before a concert, and you chatted me out of it?
Yeah, I lost my pen recorder too.
Right. Well, from then on, I always find someone to talk to when I get the jitters. It makes me forget how nervous I am. Okay, I've got it all hooked up.
A beam of light shone forth. He cocked his eyebrows at me.
Finally, we can stop fumbling around in the dark.
Wait, why do I feel something's not right?
What? You sent a trap or something?
He sidled up to me nervously. You said the flashlight is solar powered.
Yeah, I can get you one after we get out of here.
But if there's enough sunlight to power it, you don't need it to see anything. It took a few seconds, but eventually a look of understanding flashed across Kiro's face.
Hey, you're right. Why didn't I realize that?
All my anxieties were gone as I looked at Kiro's depressed face. He's a genius, but there's still that classic absent-minded cuteness mixed in. Maybe he's the one who's solar-powered, radiant as he is. Next part. With the flashlight, we discovered the room we were in had no windows, and the only door was padlocked. He held up the lock, then opened his phone's camera up. A miniature probe popped out from the side of the phone's lens, and he poked it into the lock. His computer screen followed the movement of the probe inside the lock, generating a schematic of its internal makeup. That's awesome! He put down the lock and started working on the keyboard, his face all solemn under the glow of the screen.
Oh, I don't talk when I'm on the keyboard, but just tell me if you start feeling scared.
He looked at me in complete sincerity. Okay, I always think you look so different when you're typing away like that.
I look even cooler, don't I?
Not just cooler, but more reassuring.
Now that's the ego boost I needed.
He winked, then lowered his head and resumed clacking away. A loud pop came seconds later, seemingly the sounds of the lock opening. Success! Any celebration was cut short immediately by a tremor under our feet. What's going on? His voice was coming from above me. I raised my head and a white light hit my eyes. Kiro was rising while the ground beneath me descended. We were getting further apart.
Give me your hand!
I got on tippy toes and tried to stretch out as far as I could. I broke out into a cold sweat as the gap between us grew.
Almost. Just a bit more.
He leaned forward as much as he could, eyes brimming with concern and urgency. The ground suddenly stopped quaking. When our fingertips finally touched, Kiro grabbed onto my hand tight. The surface beneath me sank away as I dangled in the air. I glanced down into an endless chasm and started pulling myself up by Kiro's hand. Our lives rested in our entwining hands.
Hang on, you got this!
I braced my feet on the side of the steadily rising wall, then felt a powerful pulling force on my arm. I was pulled to safety and could hear Kiro's rapid breathing right by my ear. That's a cute CG.
Are you alright? Are you hurt?
It was mere inches from my face. A bead of sweat on his nose showed my reflection. I realized I was half kneeling and practically laying on Kiro's chest. I never had a closer look in his pure, starry eyes than now. I just kept staring deeper and deeper. Did the earth shake again? How did I get pulled into his warm embrace? His heart beat like a drum. His breathing in my ear had me all stirred up to the point of distraction.
Don't worry. I'll protect you. I promise.
Yeah. I looked up and found he was looking at me, staring deeply into my eyes. I'm okay. He laughed in relief, chasing off every last bit of fear I had.
I didn't pull too hard just then, did I? Is your hand hurt?
He held them and checked carefully. Before I could answer, I was startled by a thin trail of blood running down his wrist. Your hand! He then noticed a small cut that showed up redder, juxtaposed with his glistening skin.
Oh, I guess I scratched it just then.
I reflexively reached for a band-aid. Oh, I left my purse in the conference room.
It's okay, I'll be fine. It's not like this never happened before in a movie set. Plus, I'm a man. I can handle a little bleeding.
He gently rubbed my head to console me. But it's still bleeding quite a bit. I had nothing on me that could stop the bleeding, and there was nothing to clean the wound either. After some thought, I took off my hat ribbon and tied it around his wrist. Blood soaked through the ribbon, and my hand shook, but with a few wraps I managed to stop the bleeding. It isn't the best stressing job, but it has to do for now. I looked up and saw a look on Kiro's face as comforting as soft sands on the beach at night.
Thank you. I think this patch-up job looks pretty good.
Remembering that it was because of me he got hurt, I lowered my head. I'm sorry. You cut your hand? It's all my fault. He sat down next to me.
It's not your fault at all. See? You even stopped the bleeding.
After we made it bleed in the first place.
There's nothing to be afraid of. I'll protect you.
His smile made me fuzzy and warm inside. I don't think we're in that room anymore.
Yeah, we're in the second room. This place, this is more dangerous than I thought.
The room was completely sealed without any door. Then let's find if there's any way out. I stood up only to be grabbed tightly by a pair of hands. In the chilly darkness, I somehow sensed the sounds of warm blood moving through veins. My heart skipped another beat.
Don't let go of my hand. The ground could break apart again.
I reflexively clutched his dry, warm hand. Let's continue on. We did our rounds and found nothing in the room. It was just like an iron-walled prison cell. The thought sent a shiver down my spine.
Weird. Not one clue.
Yeah, the last one at least had a lock. Woo, woo. I couldn't make out whether it was a gust of wind or an animal crying, but it gave me goosebumps. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think so.
He held my hand even tighter.
I remember seeing a cat cafe nearby this place. Judging by the sound, we should be close to the third room.
The noise got louder and a familiar image popped into my mind. As I groped the wall, my fingers ran across a cold, round object. It's from that dream. Yes. All I could hear was my heart pounding. Given the previous encounters, I wasn't about to dismiss any vision or dreams. But in such a dangerous situation, was it safe to put all my trust in a dream? Would you trust me if I said I might know a way out? There was a second's pause in the darkness, and then Kiro's voice rang out resolutely.
I would.
No questions, no hint of doubt, just a straight answer. He squeezed my hands as if to offer support. I took a deep breath and pressed the object. 1, 2, 3 seconds went by and nothing. Could it be I was wrong? As soon as I said the words, the metal object under my fingertips suddenly popped back out. Ah! A pale light flickered toward me. Then a silhouette quickly jumped in front of me, without a moment's regard for his own safety.
Watch out!
Kiro shielded me with his body. I peeked over his shoulder and noticed pale white dots begin to appear. I like this CG too, but weren't we wearing yellow before? On the wall! The dots of light steadily multiplied, covering the wall. Is this some kind of test?
My mentor once mentioned a hacker in America who could transmit data through laser pulses. Just code the info as photon beams, and it will come off as random, meaningless dots. That hacker vanished without a trace after making headlines with his attack on the White House.
He was fixated on the dots with hope, admiration, regret, and other emotions I couldn't decipher. And then sat down, turned on the mini computer, and worked the keyboard again. He eyed the changing dots on the wall, and then periodically, his head would drop as his fingers flicked rapidly over the keyboard. After surviving the previous encounters, I wasn't nearly as flustered now. I never doubted Kiro's skills, even if he claimed it was on the mystery of the century for hackers. Then he suddenly stopped, his brow in knots. What? His normally cool as a cucumber demeanor was replaced by a stunned expression I'd never seen before. He looked at me, his bright eyes flashing a sign of hesitation.
Nothing. I just zoned out for a second there. Don't worry.
He smiled and returned to the task at hand. The dots vanished one by one to the tapping, until only there was one left in the upper left corner. He walked up and touched the brick marked by the dot. The brick retracted to reveal a chip the size of a fingernail underneath. Whoa, that was amazing!
But of course. When we get out of here, I'll give you an exclusive first interview. Sound good?
His expression was full of youthful energy and confidence. After the final dot faded, a passage appeared. Kiro took my hands and cautiously entered. We should be out of here pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, the third room should lead to the back door.
Good, because your hand is starting to bleed again. Seeing the band soaked through with blood had me worried. An arm squeezed me around the shoulder.
Relax. It's a badge of honor for us superheroes.
We nodded at each other and stepped into the third room. No sooner had we set foot on the floor, a loud bang was heard. What was that?
Is the wall moving?
It didn't seem to be. I rubbed my eyes, took another look, and my jaw dropped. The wall is closing in on us!
Quick, get behind me!
Kiro inserted the chip into the computer. A screen popped up on the side wall with strings of numbers unintelligible to me. He pounded on the keyboard fiercely. I tried to calm my breathing, since the last thing I wanted was to have him distracted. The already small room got smaller with every second that went by. He pressed enter repeatedly, but the wall still inched its way toward us. Going to be trapped forever if this keeps up? Kiro's forehead beaded with sweat. My palms were getting colder in the already chilly room. When the wall got to a few feet from us, I started pushing against it in desperation. I would settle for buying Kiro even just a second. While sweat poured down his cheeks, Kiro seemed to mutter something.
If this wasn't the code, it should be...
He sped up, turning the numbers on the screen into one giant blur. He's been protecting me this whole time. I can't let him shoulder this burden all on his own. I racked my brain over every little detail, trying to figure the whole thing out. He said this was a plan to draw him out, so logically, this was set up specifically to target Key. If that was the case, right or wrong, my intuition's telling me this test was designed around Key. Maybe the solution is numbers holding some special meaning to him. The tapping stopped. I turned around to see Kiro with his eyes closed. I softly took his hand. Will Kiro find the answer in time? Stay tuned to find out, because I'm going to leave this part here for now and we will continue next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I will see you tomorrow to find out what happened. But until then, bye!